Okay, what I'm doing now is just shaping this thing a little. And then after you get that done, after I get that done, it looks pretty good for the first part of it. We go out to the other area out here where I got my power sander, and we're going to do some sanding. Okay, if you have one of these orbital sanders and some pretty aggressive paper, this will be short work. If you don't have one of these, well, you can hand sand it with some pretty aggressive paper and a lot of hand motion. But anyway, I'm just going to take this down now. There you can see it looks pretty good. I'm not worried about any of this down here because that'll all be painted over or filled in or whatever. Now I still have to do the other side, but we'll go back in where it's warm. It's cold out here. It was down in the 20s last night. There's no heat out here in the garage. Besides, I scared my chickens out there. They didn't know what was going on. So anyway, let's go back in the shop. Well, while I'm in here, I'll show you my new piece of Buffalo Bill here that I just put the varnish to this morning. He really turned out nuts. Excuse me. He's already sold. I sold him up at Dayton when he was still sitting on my display table in the buff. Didn't have any color to him. Anyway, he's really a nice figure. Okay? Alright, set him aside and then continue drying. Alright, here's the canoe pattern that I'm going to follow. I looked on the internet this morning for patterns, or how the thing was built, and especially the design of it. And I couldn't find any. I couldn't even find this one, so I can't remember where I got this one from. Let me turn it up right here so you can see it. Anyway, on this one here, as I was looking at this next door in the gallery, I remembered that I went down to Hobby Lobby and bought the wood for this, for the sides, and it was extremely thin compared to this on this canoe, which is, we used 1/2 inch material, then I planed it down, but it was even thinner than this here. And to make the gunwales, I guess, that run around the upper, or the edge of the top of the canoe to reinforce it, I used rush. This is from my dad's old stock of rush. He used to cane chairs and replace the seats on chairs. And anyway, I soaked it down and glued it along the edge here, as you see in this picture down here, and it really was effective. Well, this one here, being as it's a lot thicker, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carve that on there. Shouldn't be too hard, at least I hope it's not. Just indent it right there and carve down to it from the canoe side, which will look like it goes in underneath it and gives me that relief. And I looked again over at the canoe next door, and it didn't overlap on the inside, but it did overlap on the outside, so that will be fine. So that's going to be the next step. So let me just try to see if that'll work here. Okay? Okay, I'm just sketching in the lines that I'm going to cut. Up here at the top, this will be the actual shape of the canoe top. It'll come up around like that, and that little notch right there will be carved out. This part right here, I'm going to have to figure out a way to reinforce this area. I think what I will do, besides soaking it with super glue, is to just drill a hole down through here, down into the canoe itself, and put a metal brad in there to strengthen that. Okay? So I've drawn my line all the way around here, and again, I'm not going to mess with this area until the very end because I don't want to break it. So what I'm going to do here is just take my knife, just do a test here. Like that. And then come in at an angle. And carve that out. You know, doing projects like this, half the fun of them is, you know, doing the research. And if you are like me and want to build one of these things, and you get on the internet like I did, looking up stuff, by the time you're finished with this project, you're going to know exactly how Native Americans made their canoes, and it's really a fascinating process. There's one bunch of videos on there which show the whole process. This bearded guy and his overeducated helpers build a canoe from scratch, and boy, it turns out to be a real nice one. Anyway, this is going to work pretty good. You can see how that's relieved there.
Quit. Thank you.
Judy says quit moving it around so much. So see how it's relieved there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and like I said, I'm going to just drill a hole right down through there, and then just put a metal brad, which will go down into the canoe, probably about that far, and that should protect it, especially after I soak it with super glue. And this area over here, I'm not worried about that. Okay, so we'll do that in the next video. Oh yeah, one more thing. While I had the thing apart, I went and I mixed up some, you can't see it, but I mixed up some epoxy, and I dumped it way down inside here. I don't know if you can see it down in there. You can see where I rubbed my finger all over it. Let's try this end. That might show up a little better. Just to strengthen that up that much more. And after I got that, it was 5-minute epoxy. After I got that down in there, I took a heat gun, set the thing up like this, and really heated it up. And that makes that epoxy really flow out smoothly. And it got into all the crevices and cracks up here in the front, and even dripped out the bottom where this piece here didn't fit in there. So it sealed it up really nice. So this thing ought to actually float down the river, which it will here pretty soon, I hope. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and we'll continue on with this in the next one. So I'll talk to you later.